RichardAuhll. I've been coming to Aspen since 1970. Was living in Santa Barbara, California. And about 1970, the Santa Barbara Ski Club, which was organized primarily to get people off to Mammoth Mountain, and they were doing other kinds of trips, and one of the trips they had was to Aspen, Colorado, and so I came here at that time for the first time. And we came back 2 or 3 times over the next few years, and then I gave up on Mammoth Mountain because the lift lines were 1 hour long, and I used my Bonanza airplane, single engine, reciprocating engine, and flew my way all the way to Aspen from Santa Barbara, and landed in Aspen because it was the first ski area of any significance, and started coming all the time. Gave up on Mammoth and started coming to Santa Barbara or Aspen every year, staying at the Aspen Square Hotel and the old Continental Hotel, and it was fun. Come staying for a week or two, and all of that, and with my airplane, I could come back maybe some weekends. But then in 1991, I actually had a change of life in a way, and I became changed from being a saver and a investor so much. I'd already owned my own company, and but we saw a picture of Clark Gable when he was making the Misfit movie with Marilyn Monroe, and it turned out that I saw this picture in a Museum of American Art in Washington, D.C., and there was this number at the end of the bottom of the picture, a black number, a series of black numbers. And it turned out that was date of birth and death. And Clark Gable had died at 63 years old. And I says, my gosh, here he is, screwing Marilyn Monroe every night, having the time of his life. And so, my gosh, well, how old am I? How many years I got to live, and how much money do I have to spend every year? And from then I decided, I went off, I bought this fancy airplane. I just called it up. I had been seeing the airplane, looking at the airplane in Paris, at the Paris Air Show. As I buy that airplane, boom, okay, the next thing I did, I got myself a real estate agent. I want a ski place in Aspen. And anyway, make a long story short, I bought the highest residence in Aspen Mountain at the Aspen Alps. In 1992, and so I had gone myself up there, and enjoying life. And one night, it turns out they were going to have an all-night, 24 hours of Aspen ski race. And the winner was a skier who get the most vertical feet in 24 hours. And they put lights outside, up my window, which was right on the ski slope of Little Nell. And I said, well, my gosh, maybe I should invite some people over to watch this. And prior to that, I was just always bringing my girlfriends into town. I didn't know anybody here, really locally. I made this little Xerox copy of an invite, and I saw some interesting gals and guys and couples. And said, come up to my house and watch the 24-hour race of Aspen for a while. And I did that. People came up and had a good time. And in the next few weeks, I got about 7 invitations to parties. And so the thing about Aspen is it's a lot of reciprocity. One of the real characteristics of Aspen is reciprocity. People, if they get entertained by you, they will reciprocate. So that's so I've last 23 years, I guess, I've been living here in Aspen about a third of the time. And we have also introduced a party or two. One of the things we do is the Mad Hatter Party, where everybody has to have a mask or a hat, and And with that, of course, there's a bit of a change of personality. And we have a little dancing up at my place, and drinking and carousing, and so it's I've been a great scene and a great opportunity. And I have lots of friends all over the world who come to Aspen every year, and all around the country especially. And I've met some of the most interesting people you could imagine. So we're living a good life here, and away we go. Well, the Apple Wine Party was started by several bachelors, which probably you'll see on different films, who really started the whole party. And it went through several generations of people getting married and falling out, and at one time I happened to be a host of the party, and somehow there was the current officers decided they weren't going to do the party anymore, and all of a sudden somebody nominated me, and actually I was the only person nominated. So all of a sudden I was president of the Apple Wine Party, and we really continued the traditions of that, where we invite our good friends, 400 of our good friends, up to the top of the mountain to the sun deck. In the sun deck we have a DJ and go-go dancers and that sort of thing, and it's about a 3-hour dance party after the wine party. And you'll hear more about the wine party with Jack Crawford. And so people go from the wine party at lunch, and when they get satiated there, they get on the gondola or ski up to the sun deck and go enjoy that party. So,
is there an après wine party, or does the après wine party go all the way to dawn?
Well, it all depends how young you are, you know. There were times we could do 3 parties a day, and then we started working back to 2 parties a day out of getting a little conservative. And by that time we're pretty burned out. We've been partying from 11:30 to 7:30. By the time we get down the mountain, we're pretty well burned out. I have the highest residence in Aspen Mountain, and I even have a room for a discotheque and a bar and certain religious activities too, if I could say that.
It seems to me you've significantly outlived Clark Gable at this point.
Yeah, he burned himself out, I'm afraid, huh? However, I did not get a shot at Marilyn Monroe.
I'm gonna get it on.